Okay, so that happened, right? Like, oh, Spider-Man is retired, kind of. Miles only springs into action when it's absolutely needed. And I forgot to mention the symbiote. Spider-Man still has that symbiote. It's in his body now. So, like, if he's getting attacked, he just uses that. Right? So this is what happens. He's trying to get love. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. If I did with MJ or Gwen or any of them, they broke up. If they did exist, but yeah. So he goes on a date, but he gets stood up, right? But Sable, Roxanne, Oscorp, and the police force found out that there were high levels of like radiation and signals from the mall, so they want to go and check it out, right? So when the symbiote hears, Peter Parker goes to the bathroom, and then when he's coming out, he hears armed men coming, thanks to the symbiote's advanced, hearing. So he quickly turns into like his own universe version of Venom, and immediately the guards stop shooting, and I really can't blame them, right? And then he just comes out peacefully because the bullets aren't doing anything, and he's like, okay, listen guys, this is what's happening. I'm Spider-Man, see? And I was just coming out the bathroom, and I heard an armed man's footsteps, so I turned into this symbiote for protection. I didn't know it was Sable, Roxanne, or Oscorp, and the police force. And then they lowered down their guns, and then they were like, how can we make sure it's him? And then one of the guards was like, are you stupid? He literally has the same symbiote. And they're like, well, maybe he cloned it. So he requests for backup, and then one of the backup teams arrived with a sample of the symbiote they got from that fight scene, with all the villains getting that poison. And they put it in and they scan Tom Holland, and they see that the symbiote is a match, but they can't get any other information. They can't get his blood type or anything like that. Anything related to his identity. So they tell him that they have seen that there's high amounts of radiation and radio frequencies. But that whenever it seems like they get too close to the source, the device breaks. And Spider-Man sees like a little mini tablet, like this big, right? Attached to one of the guy's arms. So he quickly grabs the arm, and then he takes off that scanner, and then he uses the symbiote to upgrade it, right? Basically what he did was that he took the scanner and the scanning devices, and the symbiote replicated how it does it and all that, and then it used that as a new ability, right? So they get closer and they find out that there was supposed to be a ride, but it was abandoned, and then the foundation broke and it collapsed, so they just covered it up, and then they see it. They see a canister. It's just full of solid black. They immediately get out of there, and Peter goes with them. They quickly go there and find a containment cell at Oscorp. They scan it and they figure out that it's another symbiote, right? and they try to figure it out, and it seems like it has multiple personalities and has multiple instincts. And then after more research, one of the soldiers realizes that he tells all of them, I think I know what happened. So you know what Spider-Man defeated all those different versions of Venom? What if pieces of them were still left and they found each other and fused into one? Or like maybe before they fixed the multiversal, tunnel, another Venom in a canister just randomly appeared somewhere before they closed it. They really have no idea to confirm which one it is. They don't have any DNA samples or any samples of the other symbiotes that Spider-Man fought, so they can't identify that. So yeah, they carefully guard it, and that green liquid that Harry's seen in the game, they put the canister in that. It also checks the radiation, the signals, the frequency, and it seems it also has a heart rate. And basically what they do is this. They make sure that the symbiote is okay, and once they identify that, they record it all of the activity. For 2 weeks, they record its heart rate, like all that I just mentioned, and then they compare it, and then they find the average. So then that way, if it exceeds it by a lot, then you know that it's in trouble. It's in trouble. But yeah, so yeah, they guard it, and it seems okay until the Mafia strikes. Right? Apparently, the Mafia was back. Nobody knows who the leader is. Get out. Oh, sorry about that. I had to talk to somebody, but yeah, yeah. So, a mysterious person is leading the Mafia, and they've been secretly hitting up joints, right? They've been hitting up Oscorp plants, but not enough to make it seem like to raise suspicion, right? And they hit the same Oscorp building that Symbiote was in, right? So one of the soldiers finds it, and he's like, boss, you might want to see a look at this. And then he gets out a camera, and then we can see the boss looking at it. We can't see who it is. To us, it's corrupted, So they really can't see. We can't see who it is. And he's like, interesting. And the soldier's like, should we take him in? And he says, no. The spider probably helped them. And he says, why? And he says, I have my ways, and I managed to find security footage of Spider-Man helping Oscorp, and all of them contain this thing. So he's like, leave it be. Make it look like as if he never touched it. I'll get rid of all the evidence like the security cameras. Get out. So that's what they do. But of course, one of them decides that maybe he should get a small sample. Basically, it was a protocol where if they needed a small sample for evidence or something, the small part, like half of the symbiote, would be put in a new canister. Right? It would be put in the middle, and it would be a circle, and then it would be feeded energy, right? So he finds a protocol, and he sees a description, And what he does is that he finds one of those Oscorp's, soldiers' dead bodies, gets the key card and activates it, right? And he hacks in to the servers that allow him even more access, and then he activates the protocol. He also deletes it from all the records and bases and facilities, all of them. Quickly puts it in his backpack, and then he takes an alternate route in the vents. We can see that Oscorp is already, trying really hard, and they're working. Like, they're doing a lot, right? Like, 2 of the soldiers have the intel, and there's like 10 others. There's 10 others, and they've managed to stop 5 of them. So when he's in the vents, what he does is this. He tries to, get through a vent, but what instead happens is that the glass breaks. And then electricity fries him, and he's bleeding too. And he's burned, and then the symbiote crawls out. And it reaches for his hand. Then it infects him. Boom, he has a new body. But it turns out that because of that electricity thing, there were 2 circle pads there, right? Basically, they would transfer energy to one room to another. It was like if a room got abandoned, right? One room here and another one here. Oh, this one's abandoned. Let's just transfer all the incoming electricity into this one. Those little circle in the vents would transfer it. And because of that electricity conduction, this version of Venom was stuck on that. And then he rips it off, and it takes some time for it to fully cover the hand again, but he continues. Right? And he realizes that he shouldn't go barging in. He needs more data. So what he does is this. He transforms his head into being completely invisible. Right? It's just straight up black. There's no lines and anything. Stop. There's no lines and anything, but it's just straight up black. And he goes into the shadows because the power boxes are broken, and he sees Spider-Man fighting them, and he's taking notes, right? And that's what he does. He puts a tracker on Spider-Man. What he does is that he infects a Sable agent. He grabs a tracker out that can turn invisible. He goes to Spider-Man like, thanks. And he puts the tracker on and it goes invisible. Right? But then it turns out that one of the Sable agents was an undercover mafia agent. So he tries to shoot him, and he kills that person that Venom just infected right in the head. Boom, but Spider-Man stops him. So Venom tracks Spider-Man and learns more and more about all his moves. He learns about how to counter them. He learns the suit's weaknesses and Spider-Man's weaknesses. This is what he found. First of all, his reaction times are getting slower. He managed to break into an Oscorp facility while it was being hit by a mafia, and he put records. He got records for Spider-Man. For even more analysis, he found out that Spider-Man had faster reaction times. Right? So he would just need to work on getting even more faster reaction times. Right? And basically, when they found the Taskmaster, right, he was caught and they analyzed his suit. There was this recording that was like, hey, Spider-Man, I know you're holding back, and Spider-Man's like, look, they're just normal people. If I use my full strength, they would die, and I'm not gonna do that. Taskmaster's like, I respect that enough. And then that's where the recording ends. So he takes notes that Spider-Man isn't using his full strength. And then he realizes that Spider-Man still has weaknesses as of humans. So what he does is that he takes some Sable tech and he fuses it with him, right? Like it's stuck on him, like it's like a little machine that produces a huge amount of light, right? Basically, this is one of his upgrades. Spider-Man can get flashbang, but it takes a little more light than for the average person. So he made a device that like overdoes it by a lot. But what he did is that for his eyes, he developed like a shield for it, so he wouldn't be affected by it. Okay? He also found out that Spider-Man uses his web shooters a lot. So what he did was that he made a device that would jam the web shooters more often. He also found out that there are different parts of the suit, right? So basically at this part, the hips, here, you know, all the places where you move a lot, it's made out of this material that's like really strong, but flexible. And then we're at the knuckles, and then at the chest, and at the brain area, you know, that's where there's even stronger armor, but it's not as flexible. Right? So all these, and thanks to a rocket launcher that was misfired by a Sable agent, he manages to find a sample of each of that material, and he finds the weaknesses. Basically, the first one is electricity, and then a little bit of radio frequencies that mess with the suit's software and modulators and all that, and then a direct hit at that area that would cause it to break or be heavily damaged. Right? And for the tougher areas, what it is instead, he makes these specially made bullets. Basically, they have like, you know, from the video game Spider-Man, Martin Lee, you know how his demons have his own bullets, you know?